Good morning, dear students. We are studying chapter 4 in English literature, Clump of Lilac by Alexander Ivanovich Kuperin. By Alexander Ivanovich Kuperin. So far we have studied Kolya returns home with gloomy face. His wife Vera understands that something is up. Then Kolya says that his project work in the college seems to be rejected. Matter was that the previous night, he had been waking up all along the night and his hand trembled and black paint, green paint fell on the map and there was a spot. Kolya tried to rub it, but it became worse. So he hit upon an idea, and in order to cover that spot, he drew a lilac clump there. Now it was well hidden. And when he goes to submit his project, that was local map work, and this was the final activity of his exam. After that, he would have passed and he would have got name and fame among his colleagues and promotion as well. He was an army officer, young army officer. So when he submits his project work, the professor is very experienced and he has doubt and asked about that spot. Then Kolya, whose full name is Nikolai Yevgrafovich Almasov, says that it was a clump of lilac, but professor is not ready to accept, and he says that he will go to the spot and verify himself. And later on, Kolya is frustrated and he repents on his telling lie to the professor, because he knew professor's ability. He was one of the best professors of math work in the world. So Kolya was sure that his map work will be rejected and will be declared fail this time, and that will bring disgrace for him. So he tells everything to his wife, and his wife consoles him, and as usual, she hits upon an idea and asks him not to worry. And she says that they will make the clump of lilac reality. And she tells him that they will have to do something to get a clump of lilac planted. So both Kolya and his wife Veera leaves home, and before that Kolya empties her wife Veera empties all the drawers, and she takes all her jewelry and whatever money she has saved, and they come to a pawnbroker. Pawnbroker who gives you money in exchange of something valuable, and when you return the money, your valuable is returned. But the pawnbroker is only ready to give her 3 rubles. Give her only 3 rubles. But she requests the pawnbroker to give at least 37 rubles because it was very costly. It was real stone. It is a real stone, you can see. Now let's further. The man closed his eyes with a look of very indifference, but another of her treasures was valued highly, and altogether they managed to get 25 rubles, which was more than enough. So all the jewelries was valued to 25 rubles. The pawnbrokers is ready to give them 25 rubles, and the amount was enough for them to get a lilac plant planted. Then Almasov drove to the gardener's house, and where the gardener had just sat for having his dinner with his family, and she was not happy to have been disturbed by the 2 visitors, and what they were requesting with their mysterious request. Their mysterious request is as they were requesting the gardener to plant a clump of lilac, so which was not in the reality, and it seemed very mysterious, doubtful to the gardener. So gardener said that it was too late night so to send any laborers at that time, and he is ready to send the laborers the day after. Then They told the gardener whole story in reality, and the gardener listened everything properly. And when the point of planting the bush came, Veera smiled, and finally the gardener agrees to plant a clump of lilac. Now Almasov wants Veera to return home, and she will go to the place with the gardener to plant the clump of lilac. But Veera is determined to accompany him. And when everything was done completely, everything was done exactly as it was drawn in the map work, and then only Veera went to home. And now the next day, Veera was completely restless, and she goes to meet her husband, and when he was far only, then she noticed that the planting, the lilac, the clump was fruitful, and the professor was convinced. She understood by looking at Kolya's walking style, walking manner, that his map work had been accepted. Though Almthorpe was very much tired, but there was a sign of victory, sign of win on his face. And Kolya started narrating the incident, what had happened. And as the professor had admitted that he was getting old and had forgotten those bushes. But here he is a nice old man and very clever. It seems a shame to have deceived him. It seems a shame to have deceived him. Here, though Kolya has been able to convince the professor, but he is feeling bad. He is regretting to have deceived the professor, because professor was one of their best professors and he was very much experienced. He had wonderful knowledge of his subject, that was maps and plans. So Kolya regrets of his action, that he shouldn't have deceived the professor. But Vera was so much happy that she made her husband tell her the story again and again. And when both of them sat for having dinner, Almasov had never felt so much hunger. So much hunger as he felt that day. You know, when you are happy, you enjoy a lot of things. So here, he enjoyed food that day very much. And Vera goes into her husband's study room with a glass of tea, and both of them start laughing together and looked at each other. Then Vera asked the reason of her husband's laughing, and so did he. So both of them insisted telling that another should say the reason first. And then he said that, he means Kolya said that there was no matter of laughing. It was only nonsense. And she says that she was thinking of the little bush and it will be her favorite flower from then. So in this way we have seen the story ends with happy note. So here Vera is very faithful and helpful wife, and due to her help only Kolya succeed in his life, and here in this sense in passing the examination. So we have seen this is the story of an army officer who is very young and is very lucky to got that type of helpful wife who is source of spirit and energy for him. Well, dear students, you'll try to understand the story with the help of this video and the PDF pages I have sent you. If you have doubt, you may call and get clear. Next day we'll do questions answer. You'll write the questions answer in your fair copy that you know very well and date wise. Bye bye.